My mentor was a sandwich shop back east. What inspired me to go into this business was there was an absence of an Eastern style sub around Milwaukee.
Atlantic City. Bill Specht grew up here. A place with a small town feel and a big town allure. He played here, went to school here, worked, and even got married here. Jersey certainly had its charm. Bill was enamored with the boardwalk, the beach, and the water. One of Bill's favorite jobs was clamming. Although it was hard work, he found it very gratifying.
You got to do this at low tide, and you kind of like trudge backwards. You feel the clams with your feet. And when you feel a lump, you go down, pick it off of the bottom, throw it in your basket. A good day for us would have been about 1,000 clams. The market only bared, let's say, a penny per clam. So we're talking 100 clams, only getting $1 for it. After we got paid from the guy who bought our clams there, we'd be foolish enough to go over to the nearest store and almost waste half of it playing the pinball machine and getting treats.
His up early, work hard mindset most certainly played into Bill's future success.
Mississippi Avenue was the birthplace of what we know as the White House submarine sandwiches. I believe that started 3 years after I was born there, and that's how I got to know the White House and the sandwiches they served.
One of the things that we would always do, of course, would be to visit the White House sub shop because it was, it's just the beginning of where Cousins came from.
Bringing the East Coast style to the Midwest did have its challenges.
When Cousins first started, Bill and Jim were taking things that were reminiscent that they knew were important here to bring those flavors to Wisconsin's.
The owner I got to know at the White House, graciously, they helped me with everything, telling me how to put this sandwich together, doing this and doing that. I had a hard time finding the cold cuts, as we call them in Jersey. We went to the same supplier that services the White House. We found a shipper, we trucked them in, yeah.
This is so good.
All right, should we do a little cheers?
This is amazing. It tastes just like I remember. It just hasn't changed in all these years. It's unbelievable.
Whenever I go to Atlantic City, that's one of my first stops. The cheesesteak is my favorite from there now.
Through it all, Bill always had a taste for the East Coast.
The bread recipe, we try to copy it off this famous Atlantic City bread. So we found a bakery, Joe Pip, over in 38th and Clark. He lives upstairs, and the bakery is downstairs, one of these little mom and pop type bakeries. He helped us develop that recipe. It's nothing like going in 4 in the morning, start baking bread, and then when you're done, you're going to be using it for sandwiches a few hours later.
Bill may have grown up in small-town Jersey, but he had some big ideas. Bill wanted a better life for his family and a better life for himself.
Sandy and Jim were throwing names like B and J or J and B. And Sandy says, I know, why not call it Cousins? And that name just hit us. A family name and it worked well. The original logo was by a customer who worked at an advertising agency, and he liked our subs a lot. So he was one that prompted the logo. But it wasn't taken after images of Bill and Jim. It was just two cousins, so we started with that. And of course, the first location being 60th and Silver Spring. We had to do our bookkeeping, as you can see.
Right. Oh yeah, there it is.
First day of sales.
$47.10.
Yeah. We can't stay alive on these numbers today, that's for sure.
Right.
What I enjoyed in the beginning and what I miss today is working in the stores and meeting these different people. And we met a lot from the East Coast because we had an Eastern style sub that these people gravitated to. So we got to know customers, yeah. 6 months later, we worked our way over to Farwell and Brady. I needed a $10,000 loan to make Farwell work. The first bank, they turned me down. And I was hurt, really, I felt pain. Well, first Wisconsin granted me the loan. Jim and we were always a little bit frugal with our locations. We were buying used equipment all along. So for under 10, we did get it up and operating. 1,200 square feet, seating for 22 with the booths. That store was a stepping stone to our growth. And we would be going through 80, 90 dozen on a Friday or Saturday. And at that time, I think our prices would have been 95 cents, $1 for a regular. So you know we were making some sandwiches that would equate today, if Farwell was still operating, $80,000 a week. I did some stupid things in my days. And it had to be a Friday or maybe a Saturday night. We'd have maybe 3, 4 nights of deposits there. Our secret was we would have maybe $8,000, $9,000 in these bags underneath pots and pans in the back. When it was time to make that deposit, I would put this in my backpack and ride home with it. Imagine if something happened, it was going to be cash haul on the highway. But that was kind of risky and stupid.
Cousins was growing, and so were its marketing campaigns. A key moment came when teaming up with big screen legend Vincent Price.
First of all, I got to claim that was my idea. But that was a real good mark for us because people thought we were a national company by using him.
Good advertising plays off the distinguishing strengths of the product. Bill believed the bread was a huge component. It only seems natural that a tagline be created around it.
I was down in Florida at a art gallery, and I'm talking to the young lady there. I says, I'm from Milwaukee. She's goes on, oh, really? I'm from Brookfield. I says, have you ever heard of Cousins? Oh, sure, better bread, better subs. She spurts right away. So yes, it did serve us well.
Although business was good, Bill wasn't satisfied just yet. He knew this brand had legs. And his decision to franchise ultimately pushed Cousins to iconic status.
I went to franchising simply to expand faster. That was so important to me that we try to pick the right franchisee. They're investing their life savings into this thing. I want to see them be successful, which in turn will make Cousins successful too.
Bill's love for subs was obvious, but his love for people may have been the difference.
Giving back to the community is something that the late Jim Shepard and I established early in the beginning. We always felt we want to share some of the profits and give back into the community. We've done averages of 30, 40, 50,000 a year. The Salvation Army, Children's Hospital, many organizations in Milwaukee.
The stories, there's so many stories that we could go into.
When I was 18 years old, he came in the back room, I'm slicing. He doesn't say a word. And he takes a piece of ham, puts it on the scale and said, "It's a little too heavy, bud." I didn't know who this guy was.
Anyone just always can hear Bill from like across the office, and that just always makes me laugh.
I am set now to go to work. I don't know what you guys are gonna do, but
I hear him yell for me, Mike, down from his office. So, yeah, whatever he needs.
I love Bill.
He just has such a presence in the office, and you can tell that he just loves this company and is very well respected by everyone. I love that he never misses a potluck. That's like his favorite thing here is coming to the potluck.
There's a reverence that you rarely see in life. The way that everyone deservedly looks up to him and respects him and is happy when he's around.
I remember him stopping in several times, just unannounced, just would come in and, "Hi, how are you guys doing?" And no, really, how are you doing?
Yeah. My relationship with Bill has been great over the years. It started just playing golf with him and just hearing, about the pride he had in the company.
Just watching his methodical approach to golf. And it's really a good lesson just in life that, you don't necessarily have to be in a hurry or be the longest hitter to be successful at what you do. And so I think really it's just respect about, just his approach and how he approaches his golf game is very similar to how he approached life.
I think in business he was confident. He always wanted to win against the competition. I think that that's one of the approaches that Bill always took, and how we can make our restaurants better and how can we win daily with our guests.
You always have to be on your toes with Bill. He always is asking some random question about a random franchisee or random store.
Bill can be a little intimidating sometimes. That jersey comes out and you're like, oh God.
One of the first things I remember about being here is just the fact that my dad would drop us off at the beach because then he would go to Caesars or go to another place to gamble. And then at some point we got picked up by my dad when he was done gambling.
And he can never remember my name.
I met Bill at my first annual meeting. He was talking to me like he knew me. I think I'd only been with the company maybe a month or so. And I think he believed I was Angie. So we had a great conversation.
One thing I'm proud of is he always remembers my name, which is a big deal.
Well, that's good because I'm Jason half the time, so it's all good.
I had heard about Bill. I had not met him yet. But the second week of my job, I come in and he's there. And before I have the chance to even introduce myself, he says, "Hey Max, how's it going? How's your first week going?" So I think from that point, I really knew that this was a company that really cared. Bill's a legend outside of the world of Cousins. You hear these stories and you see what's accomplished. That's legendary. Then when you get to Cousins, you find out he's legendary for a second reason. It's because it's how he did it. And it's not just what he did, but it's the way that he did it.
He's really stepped back, but he's been so proud of everything that's happening here, and he's leaving a very solid legacy behind.
There's not too many restaurants that can be around that long. And so to me, it just goes back to the basics that Jim and Bill started with Cousins, and that's quality matters.
When I think about the fact that Cousins is upon its 50th year, it's really unbelievable because the values and the products and the mission that was so important back then is just as important today, and we continue to build on that.
we've got quite a name out there, and we got a good following with customers. Every once in a while, I gotta pinch myself and see if this is still real.
You're not born a legend. It's something you earn. It's about the things you do and the people you touch, and ultimately, the example you set for generations to come.
Well, we've carried this product a long way, and we think it's got a long ways to go yet, but I still believe we have the best submarine sandwich out there.
Around, Bill, or are you okay?
What time is it?
It is
4:35.
4:34. 4:34.
And we're calling it.
Yeah, I hope you can pick through this whole thing
Oh,
and
yeah,
get something sensible out of it.
Yeah, a little nice.
Yeah.
Nice job, Bill. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Dad.
Thank you.